I know you might be thinking, Lauren, it's the middle of February, why are you just now filming your plan with me video? And honestly, I've spent the past 2 weeks filming and editing my apartment makeover video. I just posted it like an hour ago, and this is the first chance I've really had to sit down and film anything else. If you keep up at all with my Instagram stories, you may have noticed that the other day I was at Dollar Tree buying light bulbs, and I stumbled upon the stationery aisle, which I usually wander into from time to time just to see what they have. I have found many gems there in the past, including erasable highlighters. Yes, that's a thing. And as I was wandering around, I was just struck by this idea that what if I did an entire bullet journal spread entirely out of Dollar Tree stationery supplies? Nobody asked me to make this video, but I wanted to, so. My goal for this was to pick up everything that I would need to normally set up my bullet journal spreads and then pick up a few extra things. The journal I'm using is not from Dollar Tree. I felt really wasteful just buying a journal that I would only use one time, so I'm just gonna be using my Exceed Walmart journal. The thing that really inspired this entire video was when I noticed that Dollar Tree had these. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. These are dollar brush pens. I got a few different colors. I think they delivered on their promise of it being a brush pen. Nothing more, nothing less. I also picked up some regular fine liner rollerball pens. These are in a 5mm size for you stationery nerds out there. I didn't want to buy a pack of 3, but there weren't really any options. I got this jumbo pack of crayons in everyone's favorite Disney Pixar film. Wait, who the heck is this? Not sure what I expected from crayons, but they definitely disappointed me. These really intrigued me. They're markers that draw in different patterns. That's actually kind of badass. I want to try another one. Oh wait, they're all just lines. I don't know why I thought by looking at this packaging that they would all come in different shapes, but I needed to buy a ruler and the only one they had was this one that apparently is supposed to smell like oranges. Oh my god. The faces make me laugh though. Lastly, I got a glue stick in the shape of a triangle. I like the color. And these little sequin things. The tree actually had some of this correction tape that I really like to use. Oh, it kind of sucks. There we go. You just have to press, oh. Let's begin. In the spirit of bullet journalers everywhere, I think it's only appropriate that we do a cover page. I used those black rollerball pens that I bought to do some subpar block lettering in the middle of this page. I do go back in later and make it a little bit fancier. But next, I was honestly dying to work with those line markers that I bought. I started working those in some geometric patterns around the page, and what I really realized is you have to hold them perfectly perpendicular to the paper, otherwise all 3 of the little marker bits don't touch at the same time. But once I figured that out, I was on a roll. Now that this page is done, it looks like something that someone from the 90s would wear to work out in, but I like it. So for my weekly spread, also the first actually useful spread in this video, I have really gotten in the habit of using this sort of column style where each day has a narrow space that I can make lists of tasks I want to do and I can prioritize things. And then at the bottom of the page, I like to leave a space for notes, which is basically just where I write ongoing tasks that I haven't assigned to a specific day yet. I used the same line markers that I used on the cover page, and the more I use them, the more I honestly fall in love with them. I feel like I might actually keep using them after this video is over. But when it got to the bottom note section, everything just started to go kind of downhill. This was a moment where I really wish there was an in real life Command Z button, because honestly, the more I tried to fiddle around with this little section, the worse it got, and how it just looks like a child disaster. I'm going to try to cover it up with this correction tape and see if I can somehow write over it. Unfortunately, this didn't really work because every time I would try to overlap the correction tape to create the next row, it would just peel itself off again. Eventually, I just gave up and decided to cut out a piece of my journal from the back and paste it on top to try to camouflage the area. And this is why we bought the glue stick. This is the most rigid glue stick I've ever used. It literally got stuck. I mean, it really wouldn't be a Dollar Tree video if this didn't happen, right? I'm really tempted to try to fix it again, but I'm just not gonna touch it this time. So I still want to get some use out of these glass paint brush pens that I bought. And I think the true test of a brush pen is whether or not you can letter calligraphy with it. So we're gonna do a quote page. My desk is so cluttered at this point, I'm propping up my tiny notebook on all of the garbage that I peeled off of these pens. I gotta say, this brush pen kind of writes like a really old Tombow dual brush pen after you've frayed it beyond the point of repair. And I'm not trying to just discount it because it was really cheap. I think art supplies are kind of like makeup in that some drugstore makeup is actually really, really good and some is really, really terrible. But I think with brush pens especially, there is just a noticeable difference between a product that was made very carefully and had a lot of thought put into the design and what the tip is made out of. And then there's products like this, which, you know, technically fit all the requirements of what a brush pen should be, but when you actually use it, it's just... What I will say though is because this was made to write on ceramic, the color payoff is really awesome. The richness of the black on this paper is noticeably better than a lot of other brush pens that I've used in the past. I'm in the middle of teaching a 3-week calligraphy workshop right now, and trying to use this brush pen is how I imagine a lot of my students are feeling right now with their first time holding a brush pen. And again, if you zoom out far enough, I sometimes feel that because I brand myself as an artist that I'm not allowed to make anything bad, which probably sounds kind of silly, and a lot of you are probably thinking, Lauren, that's not bad, that looks great. But when I look at this, it's like, I know I could do better, and I think I sometimes fall into a trap where I just feel like if everything I put out into the world isn't my absolute best work, and if I show the rawness and the behind the scenes of the stuff that I make that's just honestly not that great, I'm like afraid people will call me out and say that I'm a fraud or that I'm not a real artist. Because there's a lot of stuff that I'm genuinely not good at, and there's a lot of stuff that I make that I never post, I never share. And there's some stuff that I make that I really like, but then when I go to photograph it, if it doesn't look quite right on camera, I start hating it a little bit. And I wish I was just the type of person that would snap a picture really quick and go, look, this is what I made, this is the process I use. And I do try to show a lot of my process to you guys, but there's such a fine line, I feel like, between showing behind the scenes footage and showing what doing stuff like this is actually like, because there's a lot of parts of it that are kind of ugly, and like I sit in front of my computer for like hours and hours and edit something and I have a headache and I'm dehydrated because I'm not taking care of myself properly. This is all to say that I think I do a bad job sometimes of being conscious of what I'm sharing and how I'm sharing it, and I try a little bit too hard to emulate the work of other people when being original, being myself, and being a little bit different is what makes me a unique artist and valuable as a person. Alright, now that we've finished the spreads, I think it's time for a little rating review. Taking home the cake today by far were these line markers. They're just fun. I really like them. They work really well. I like the colors that they came in, surprisingly. I would give these like a solid 9 out of 10. Coming in at a distant second were these rollerball fine liners. Honestly, I was not super impressed with these. I did like the size of the tip, but I definitely won't be keeping these. I'll probably get rid of them. Next up, we have our brush pens. Honestly, these left me wanting a little bit more. The color of the black one was okay though, so I guess I'll give these a solid 5 out of 10. And coming in dead last was this scented orange ruler. Honestly, I don't know why they made this. It smelled really bad. I've got to go clean up my room now because... Bye!